John.
Joining us for more on this, Sanders, Wyoming Senator John Barrasso. He is a member of the Energy Committee. Senator, let's play what President Biden said that raised so many eyebrows during that press conference yesterday. Listen here.
Russia will be held accountable if it invades, and it depends on what it does. It's one thing if it's a minor incursion and then we end up having a fight about what to do and not do, et cetera.
Jen Psaki, the press secretary, rushed with a mop to aisle 4 for a quick cleanup. And then just a little while ago, President Biden grabbed his own mop. He said in the White House, if any Russian troops move over the border, that's an invasion, would be met with the responses I laid out for Putin. What do you make of what he said? Because there are some people who say that Putin will only look at what he said at the beginning and say, that's a green light for me to go in.
Well, let me tell you about Vladimir Putin. He's a poker player. And he's cunning, he's opportunistic, and he is aggressive. And he looks for tells. So I'm sure he was watching exactly what the president said yesterday. He also can smell weakness. And he views President Biden as weak and ineffective, specifically after the collapse in Afghanistan. So Putin's, all his aggression right now is being funded by energy, which is his cash cow. And the Biden policies previously have been a jackpot for Putin that is funding all of these things. So we're going to see exactly how this plays out. But as a poker player, Putin is a guy that gets a lot of different hands dealt to him and then ultimately decides to choose which of those hands to play.
Talk about the potential impact on energy prices in just a second, Senator. But first of all, the Ukrainians are freaked out about this. You saw Greg Palkot with the response from President Zelensky. This is something that President Biden seems to do with troubling frequency. Say one thing and then have to come back and clean it up and say, no, what we really meant was this.
Well, we've seen it not just here. This is just today is 1 year after the inauguration of President Biden, a man that came into office saying that he was going to unite the country and put COVID behind us. This has been a year of failure for this president, and this is just one of the areas in foreign policy. The whole world is more aggressive at this point after the collapse in Afghanistan, and you're seeing it with China, you're seeing it with North Korea, you're seeing it with Iran and the Persian Gulf, with Russia as well, brought on by the president's own statements. And finally, I would say that Vladimir Putin respects strength, not statements.
All right, so your area of expertise in terms of oversight is on the Energy Committee. Let's take a look at what's been going on with energy here at home. Propane in the Midwest up 38.3%, heating oil up 37.1%, natural gas up 27.8%, electricity up 2.7%. If Russia were to invade Ukraine, what happens to those numbers?
Well, people will be paying more at the pump, and they'll be paying more to heat their homes because Vladimir Putin uses energy as a weapon. And Joe Biden has fallen into Putin's trap. Right now, people are paying $1 a gallon more than they were a year ago when Joe Biden came into office. Remember, on day number 1, Joe Biden killed the Keystone XL pipeline, declared war on American energy, and then he's had to go back and ask OPEC plus Russia to produce more energy to sell to the United States. So today we are using twice as much crude oil from Russia than we were a year ago. Energy prices are at a 7-year high right now at home. So I expect energy prices to go up if Putin invades. And I think $100 a barrel is not out of the question.
Wow. Hey, we've just got about a minute left here, Senator. I wanted to just jump to another thing that the president was talking about yesterday, blaming Republicans for all his woes. Listen here.
I did not anticipate that there'd be such a stalwart effort to make sure that the most important thing was that President Biden didn't get anything done. Think about this. What are Republicans for? What are they for? Name me one thing they're for.
Well, it would seem that the president's biggest problem are Democrats who will not stand with him. But while we've got you here, Senator, what do Republicans stand for?
Well, we stand for jobs. We stand for a strong economy. We stand for national security, which is energy security, which we don't have under this president. It's border security, which we don't have under this president. It's a military security, which we don't have based on this president's what he's proposed in terms of his budget for homeland security and for military. These problems that we've seen is because Joe Biden went so far to the left, a freight train to the left with Pelosi, Biden, and Schumer, with proposing things that were really radical, extreme, dangerous, scary, massive spending, massive taxes, massive regulations, things that are going to make it much harder for our economy to recover. And what he's still proposing under this so-called Build Back Better, with all of the taxes and penalties on American energy, is going to make energy much more expensive. This is a president that has been ignoring the main concerns of the American public, which is inflation, and that's why this president's approval numbers now are at historically low levels.
Certainly a lot to chew over between now and November the 8th. Senator John Barrasso of the great state of Wyoming, thank you for your time.
Thanks so much, John.